So many intelligent, hardworking people fail. And it's not because they lack skill or talent or even ambition. It's because they're missing an internal system, a kind of framework for living effectively. It's like they're running this incredible hardware, their brain, their body, but with glitchy, outdated software.
And that right there is the key to understanding this work. Stephen Covey didn't just write another productivity book packed with tips and tricks. What he did was design a complete operating system for human behavior. It's meant to fundamentally change how we think and act, from the inside out. Okay, let's dive into this. So here's how we're going to break it down. We'll start by figuring out what a habit really is in this system. Then we'll map out the path to what Covey calls interdependence. We'll look at the habits for mastering yourself, and then the habits for mastering how you work with others. We'll cover the renewal engine that keeps it all going, and finally, we'll see how it all fits together as one complete, integrated system. All right, so first things first, we have to get on the same page about what Stephen Covey actually meant by a habit. Because in his world, it's way, way deeper than just a simple routine or a life hack. For Covey, a true habit is where three things meet. First, you need the knowledge, the what to do. Then you need the skill, the how to do it. And finally, you need the desire, the genuine motivation, the want to do it. You have to have all three. It's not something you can just fake. It has to be built consciously.
And this comparison just nails the difference, right? Techniques are like cramming for a test. Sure, you might pass, but did you really learn anything? Habits, on the other hand, are like cultivating a farm. You can't cram a harvest. You have to plant the seeds, water them, and put in the work day in and day out. These aren't quick fixes. They're about building your character for the long haul.
Okay, so with that definition in mind, let's zoom out and look at the high-level blueprint. The 7 habits are sequenced very deliberately to guide you through a specific process of growth. This isn't just some random list of good ideas. No, it's a roadmap.
And that roadmap takes us through 3 distinct stages of maturity. We all start out in a state of dependence, relying on others. The first part of the system is designed to help us achieve independence or self-mastery. But that's not the final destination. The highest level of effectiveness is interdependence, the ability to work and collaborate effectively with others. And here's the crucial part. You can't skip steps. You just can't get to true interdependence if you haven't first become independent. And here it is, the whole system in one picture. Just look at the flow. Habits 1, 2, and 3 are down at the bottom. They're the foundation. Covey calls this the private victory. It's the victory you have to win over yourself. Only when you've done that can you really move up to the public victory of habits 4, 5, and 6, which are all about how you interact effectively with other people. So let's dig into how this system actually builds up, starting right at the foundation, the private victory. These first 3 habits are all about you. This is the work nobody else sees, the internal character development that all public success is built on.
Everything really starts with this simple idea. In life, something happens to us. That's the stimulus, and then we act. That's the response. For most people, that connection is almost instant, practically unconscious.
But here's the game changer. Habit 1, be proactive, is all about realizing that between that stimulus and your response, there is a space. And inside that space is your freedom, your power to choose how you respond. Proactive people make that choice based on their core values, not just on their feelings or the situation. This, right here, is what gives you control of the steering wheel of your life.
Okay, so you've got control. Now what? You need a destination. That's habit 2. Begin with the end in mind. The central idea here is that everything in life is created twice. First, it's created in your mind as a blueprint, and then it's created in the physical world. This habit is about being that first creator. It's about deciding what your life is about, your personal mission, your values, before you start chasing goals. This is the habit that gives you direction.
Then comes habit 3, put first things first. This is where the rubber meets the road. It's the physical, second creation. It's the raw discipline to organize your life and execute based on your priorities, to focus on what's genuinely important, not just on what feels urgent and is screaming for your attention. This is the habit that gives you the power to execute. And together, these 3 habits create genuine independence.
So once you've won that private victory, once you're in control, you have direction, and you can execute, only then are you really ready for the public victory. These next 3 habits are all about shifting from the self-mastery of I to the powerful collaboration of we.
Habit 4 is think, win, win. It's a total shift in mindset. It's about rejecting the idea that life is a zero-sum game, that for me to win, you have to lose. It's based on an abundance mentality, the deep belief that there's plenty of success to go around for everybody. Win-win isn't some negotiation tactic. It's a whole philosophy for life that looks for mutual benefit in every interaction.
Now, to get the next habit, let's do a little experiment. Take a quick look at this image. What do you see? Some of you are probably seeing a young woman. Others are seeing an old woman. So, who's right? Well, the point is that two people can stare at the exact same thing, see something completely different, and both be right. It's a perfect metaphor for our different paradigm.
And that little experiment leads us straight into habit 5. Seek first to understand, then to be understood. Think about it. Most of us don't really listen to understand. We listen so we can reply, right? We're just waiting for our turn to talk, filtering everything they say through our own experiences. This habit flips that. It's about practicing empathic listening, truly trying to see the world from their point of view first. You can't build trust, let alone persuade anyone without it. This habit governs all effective communication. So what happens when you take that win-win attitude and combine it with a real ability to understand other people? You get habit 6, synergize. This is when 1 + 1 = 3 or 10 or even 100. It's the habit of creative cooperation where you don't just tolerate differences, you value them. You work together to create brand new solutions that are way better than what either of you could have come up with on your own. This habit governs true collaboration.
Okay, so we've got our private victory and we've got our public victory. But what keeps this whole system from falling apart? What keeps it running smoothly? Well, that brings us to the final habit, which isn't really a final step, but more like a constant engine.
That's habit 7, sharpen the saw. And it's all about self-renewal. It's about regularly investing in the 4 key parts of your life: your physical health, your spiritual side, your mental sharpness, and your social and emotional connections. If you neglect any one of these, your saw gets dull and the whole system starts to fail. This is the habit that keeps everything else alive and effective.
All right, let's bring it all home. Because here's the thing. The real magic of the 7 habits isn't in picking and choosing 1 or 2 that you like. The real power comes when you see them as a single, integrated, reinforcing system.
I mean, just look at how this all flows together. Being proactive gives you the freedom you need to create a personal vision. That vision makes it possible to prioritize what's important. Prioritizing leads to self-mastery. That self-mastery becomes the foundation for building trust with other people. And that trust is what unlocks real synergy. All the while, habit 7, renewal, is the engine sustaining and sharpening the whole loop. You pull one of these out and the whole structure starts to wobble.
And really, that's the whole point. The 7 habits are not about becoming some kind of productivity robot or just checking more things off your to-do list. They are about true effectiveness. It's a fundamental shift from trying to do more things to focusing on doing the right things and doing them from the inside out.
Now, in our upcoming explainers, we're going to go deep into each one of these habits. But for now, you get the big picture. You see the architecture. We can see what Covey was doing all along. He wasn't just giving us a list of good ideas. He gave us an operating system for an effective life.